Broads Media.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. The Flyers leave Philadelphia. They attack the road. 3 games. And what do you know? 5 of 6 points. That's incredible. They really could have had all 6, considering they played fantastic in Nashville, but I was unaware that Marty Brodeur came back out of retirement and snagged a victory from them. I mean, my God, were they peppering all night long? What hurt them is what has hurt them all year long, and that's essentially their damn power play. It's brutal. All I needed was one, please, man advantage. It's not that hard. Why are you making it so difficult? That would have changed the entire game. Instead, Philip Forsberg, 18 seconds into the overtime. The puck's squeezing through Urson, and I think they made the right call to let it play. You have the stripes there with a good view. If it's loose, imagine if the Flyers, let's say Travis Konecny, came down the left wall, had a wicked wrister. You could tell by the goalie's body language that he's unsure if he has it, and he's looking backwards. He's squeezing the right side of his pads, hoping nothing goes through. And then you could see the black puck on the blue paint just sitting there. I would have been pissed if they blew a whistle there if the roles were reversed. So it is what it is. Urson probably should have had it, but at the end of the day, I'm going to take the full-on positive here and say this team is playing beautiful. Bobby Brink against the Colorado Avalanche. His passes are absurd. Okay, he's putting the puck behind Owen Tippett through the neutral zone to spring him forward. Just an excellent bounce pass, and now Owen Tippett's got a grade A scoring chance and lights the lamp. He also set up Joel Farabee with patience in front of the crease, where I would think that a lot of guys are trying to jam it home, and you know you're 2 feet, 3 feet from the net, so you just try and throw a bunch of pucks up. No. He waits, and then he passes it over to Joel Farabee. Bobby Brink's hockey IQ is such a joy. Sanheim's driving the net, and he's being a force, creating offensive opportunities. He scored against Nashville as well. Now, did Travis Konecny, did he have a penalty that wasn't called? I don't know. Call it a puck battle. Call it a 50-50 puck battle, and my man just outworked you. How about that? Shove that up your ass. All right, because TK moving his feet, working hard. Bang, here we go, man. I mean, there is a lot to say about falling down 2-0 against Nashville, sticking with it. Sean Couturier with a couple seconds left in the second period. He changes the narrative for the third and gives you a fighter's chance. Speaking of patience, though, for him to hold as he's drawing himself closer to the goal line and still has an angle. Gross. I love me some Sean Couturier. He's right back at it. He's back. All right. It's amazing. So I'm just enjoying this. I really am. Travis Konecny is a star. What he did in Colorado, he nets 2, one of them on a penalty shot, and that was such a big penalty shot because literally moments before, Cam Atkinson, who's having a tough time, a little bit rough right now, but he has his great scoring chance. The puck is sitting on the goal line. The Flyers go full speed to the net. You think, oh, okay, there's a wide open net. The goalie's on his ass. This is an automatic goal. Oh, it still doesn't go in. So a possible momentum changer, possibly a momentum killer for the Flyers, and then you get rewarded a penalty shot, and TK buries it. That was so big for that time of the game. I'm just proud of the way that this team is rolling right now. And I heard Boosh talk about this on the broadcast, and I follow him on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure I saw him talk about joining some shows, some national hockey shows. Maybe he didn't tweet it. I don't know. Maybe I'm messing up where exactly I saw it. But he did speak about it during the game. This is now starting to grab the attention of the hockey world. This isn't just a cute little story anymore. Now they're trying to get the insight of the people who do the broadcast night in and night out. What's happening in Philadelphia? What is relating to their success? They're just trying to get more answers on, is this for real? It has to be, because now we are deep into the season. We're almost at Christmas, okay? If this was to start the year and then you really rely on the fact that John Tortorella pushes them throughout training camp so they are in a better position, a prime position to be conditioned for the start of the season, while others might take a different approach, especially teams that make deep postseason runs. You're not going to turn it around and then in training camp bag skate them and have them skate suicides. That's not the best for 30-year-old veterans who are constantly making the Eastern Conference Finals, who are constantly making Stanley Cup runs like Tampa Bay. You're going to address the offseason differently to try and get their bodies right and whatever is best for them. Well, the advantage of where you are right now for the Flyers, if you're Tortorella, is, yo, boys, all right, we're going to be a hard-working team. We're going to be a motherfucker to play against. We got a lot of youth. We got a lot of speed. Let's get up and down the ice. Let's push the pace. Let's dictate the way we want to play. And you would think that early in the season, fine, you may have the advantage. Once everyone else catches up to you, what do you look like? You look like grabbing 5 or 6 on the road. You look like a damn good hockey team that's at the top of the Metropolitan right now, and I don't want to put them in the same category as maybe what the New York Rangers have. Okay, I do understand that there's definitely a step up, and there's multiple teams that are in a whole different tier, but that doesn't mean where they're at right now isn't super impressive and super entertaining. And once again, I don't want to do this every single time, but this is a good thing. This is a good thing for the Flyers. This is a good thing for Bobby Brink, for Owen Tippett, for Tyson Forster, for all of these. It's a good thing for Sanheim. Okay, Sanheim was ready to get kicked out of town. We were all angry when the St. Louis Blues trade fell through. Now he's a stud. He's a legitimate stud. And the fact that you have some pieces here that are playing this well, it doesn't make sense, because the whole, well, we need draft picks to get this, to get that. Or we have that now. What you want, ideally speaking, right? Theoretically, when you talk about this rebuild and you got to bank all these first-round draft picks and get this and get that, what you want is almost what you're learning you have right now. And I know what you're saying. Well, you can even get more. Let's be greedy. If we already have Bobby Brink, Tyson Forster, Cutter Gauthier, and Mitch Koff ready to come around, hopefully in the next couple of years, okay, why can't we get more and add it? Yeah, I gotcha. But you're not going to get that when you have talented players on your team. You only have that when you have nothing. You won't be the worst team in the league when you have Tyson Forster, Owen Tippett, Coots coming back, and Cam Atkinson, just the leadership and what he provides from off the ice and on the ice too, of course. He's been around a long damn time, and he is a great goal scorer. He's just maybe having a little bit of a rough spot right now. You don't get to the bottom of the league with this already on your roster. My whole idea about this is there's talent everywhere. And your job as a general manager is to find that said talent. If they are drafting 10, 11, 12, go get a stud. There are studs. Yeah, Connor McDavid, Bedard, I got you. But you already kind of have that in Matvei Michkov. What they expect to be that is already in the Flyers organization. We just have to wait to get him from the KHL when that's all said and finished. Now, once again, of course, you want all the blah, blah, blah. They don't have the team to be that bad. And I don't want them to have the team to be that bad. I'm not being fooled by anything. They're playing the right way, stylistically speaking. This is what works. They're taking risks, getting up ice, asking Sanheim to join the rush. I've even seen Cam York do some things impressive offensively that maybe I didn't know if was in his bag yet. That shimmy down the wall, it was electric. Toe drag, finds twine. He's definitely starting to feel better. He's starting, I think, to feel out his game more. Defensemen always take long time. Always take long time. They always take longer. I hate that I do this every time, and I tell myself, bros, just ignore it. Don't even dive into it. Don't get into it at all. It's irrelevant. The team's playing well. But the Flyers fan base right now is so conflicted, and they keep running into each other and throwing haymakers at one another because a portion of the fan base is stoked like me, and then the other portion is, I don't want this. What do you mean you don't want this? Why don't you want this? If you are actually a fan of the sport and you get what they're doing stylistically and how they're playing and the youth movement, and you see the grind day in and day out, how do you think that this is bad for the preparation of the young kids to learn how to play in this league? I don't want to be known as losers. I don't want them to think losing is okay. I don't. And I'm starting to shift maybe, the Sixers tank on purpose and blah, blah, blah. I'm out on that. I think I'm out on that. I don't want that anymore. I don't like the idea of that maybe as much as I once did when looking for a Joel Embiid in the NBA. Different sports, I get it. Connor McDavid, the Edmonton Oilers, they're not winning Stanley Cups left and right. They have Draisaitl. They got dudes who produce 120 points a season blindfolded. Now they're firing their coach for a terrible start to the year. They can't build a team around them, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't always result as much as that sexy piece and that sexy, flashy superstar is amazing, and that's what is great. And trust me, I want one on my team, and we have one in Matvei Michkov eventually. It doesn't automatically go to Stanley Cup. The Buffalo Sabres, they were having high draft picks. Where are they now? The Edmonton Oilers had high draft picks nonstop. Where are they now? And you can counter-argument and say the Penguins stunk for a while. Here comes a man named Sidney Crosby. Here's the Malkin era. Well, the Crosby-Malkin era. And yeah, it panned out for them. And there's plenty of examples of both. But my point is, it doesn't have to be one way. Okay? The Flyers did their stinking. Now they're in the next step of getting this thing back on track. They did the stinking already. They did the full-on, gross, ugly, disgusting stinking. Now, here we are. Okay? All right. Before we continue, we'll rock the Anytime Hotline text board, some phone calls. Let me tell you about my friends over at TickPick. And I'm telling you right now, listen to me. You have to see this team play live. I'm going to say it again. You have to see this team play live. You have to, you have to, you have to. And what if I told you my friends over at TickPick will get you $10 off for your purchase if you spend over $99? So why don't you talk to a loved one, maybe your kids, your family, some cousins, and say, let's go watch John Tortorella. Let's go watch Travis Konecny light the lamp. And they have the best prices guaranteed. Now, what you do, down below in the description, there's a link, and my promo code is activated with that link. So if you sign up and you buy your tickets through there, you will get your $10 off. It's free $10, and they have the best prices guaranteed. Their ticket prices will beat any of the major competing marketplaces, and they are so confident they guarantee it. If you find the same seats elsewhere at a better price than TickPick, you get 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credit. There's also upfront pricing, so no more doing the math in your head to prepare for how much extra you plan on spending on top of the listed price on other sites. The price you see on TickPick is the price you'll pay at checkout. Period. End of story. There are no added service fees, no hidden fees, or otherwise. So make sure you join the TickPick family. Last thing before we hear from you. You know what irritates me? Sometimes I wonder what the ceiling of this team could be if they could just get something going on the power play. The flip side to that is, I guess they're making up for it on the power kill, because but then it's like, well, if your penalty kill is doing that anyway, imagine what you'd be if your penalty kill was super aggressive, you were getting all these chances, you were scoring goals down a man, and you could actually have a reasonable, respectful power play at the same time. Wouldn't that be lovely? It's not like your penalty kill has to dip off if you could just score with the man advantage, so it could be both. Like, if they're this good without that, and it's very hard to be this good without that. They're making it up in other areas, which is super hard to do. It's like, that's the easiest. That's the easiest. They're making it harder on themselves. And I'm sure at this rate, because it's been happening for so long, they just can't get it out of their head, and it's drilled in them. So they are just on a whole different level, psychologically, trying to get themselves out of this funk. but it is miserable, man. It's the difference in a point here. It's a difference in grabbing 6, and by no means is grabbing 5 of 6 something to be disappointed in, but 6 of 6 would have been nice, especially in a game where you truly did deserve a better outcome, and it's a mixture of you got goal lead and a mixture of you can't score with the power play. You just can't score at all. And speaking of power play, some of the Nashville ones, what was it? Hathaway got called a couple times. You could tell he wasn't happy. Torts wasn't happy behind the bench. What was it? Well, Delorier got into that fight, and then I remember the refs going over to Torts and talking to him on the bench a bit. And, yeah, that happened. But all around, man, fun stuff, fun stuff from your Flyers, and now they come back home, and I like to see the crowd and everyone in South Philadelphia really giving this team the excitement that they deserve. So, okay, let's go to Sam, who checked in on the Anytime Hotline. How did Sam feel after this one?
Well, that was a tough ending, and we all know Harrison should have gotten that, But overall, just look at this road trip. You get 5 out of 6 possible points. The Flyers are buzzing around the ice. I can't really be that upset with this team right now. They just came back 2-0 and stole a point in this game. I'm really loving the team right now. Let's go Flyers.
Love it, Sam. Love it. And that Colorado team is no joke. Okay, here's Nathan McKinnon with all his speed. Here's Cale Makar at the blue line, stick handling, edge work. I don't understand how he does that. I don't get it. I wish I could have done that. I had no idea how to do anything like that when I was in my prime. Here's Cale Makar, the nastiest defenseman my eyeballs have ever seen. All right, and you go into that building and you smack them around. Carter Hart with 36 saves. Carter Hart is so good. He is so damn good. He had a .947 save percentage in that game. Owen Tippett had 2 points. It starts off with TK scoring. Then McKinnon ties it up. It's 1-1. Tippett scores. Sanheim scores. You're up 3-1. All right, now Colorado creeps back in 3-2. Nope, 4-2 on a penalty shot. 5-2. Joel Farabee with the patient by prick. I'm just running through the score summary. But, man, it's like I'm reliving that moment for a second, and that is a damn good win. And I think Arizona has fallen into a couple losses here since their fun little run that they had. Yeah, so since they were beating all those Stanley Cup champs, they lose to the Flyers 4-1. They lose to the Bruins 5-3. They lose to the Sabres 5-2. They lose to the Penguins 4-2. A lot of these games being on the road, looks like they hit a 3-game road trip after the Flyers game, and they did not grab 5 of 6 points. They did not do what the Flyers did, which was grab 5 of 6 points. And, yeah, so, but the time you caught them, they were a storyline. They were big. They were being talked about on NHL Network because of what they did to all those teams prior. So you caught them at a very hot time in the desert, and then you started their downfall. You started the doubt that they started having doubt because, like, oh my God, the Flyers. Okay, yeah, all right. Let's read some text messages. Hey, bro, it's Colin from South Jersey here. A valuable road trip by the Flyers. Travis Konecny is a guy that draws my attention to the TV. Fans for years have asked who is so important you have to buy tickets for, or who is so big that you have to watch every night. It's TK. He isn't as big as McDavid-Bedard matchup on ESPN. Yeah, that's definitely true. But one that should be appreciated here in the city right now. Travis Konecny is going to score 40 goals. 40 goals. And, another stupid combo to have is, should they bring him back? Should they trade him? The value, blah, 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 blah. He's 26. If you were to trade Travis Konecny, you would hope that one of those draft picks would then be a 40 goal scorer at 26. It wouldn't be all of them, right? Once again, you can't be so greedy that, if you get 3 picks for him and you're not going to hit on all of them. It doesn't happen like that. You would hope that one could turn into a 40 goal scorer by 26. So what you're trying to get by trading Travis Konecny is Travis Konecny. So let's just breathe. Let's not be dumb. TK is a part of this thing, man. Sometimes I even am stunned to remember that he's 26. He's been around for so long. He's not 28. He's not 29. He's not 30. He's 26 years old. Like, this is great stuff at him. Travis Konecny, no doubt he is playing like a true star. Yes, he has elevated and taken that next up. He was always a good player. He was always a good goal scorer. The guy is taking over games. Him and Sean Couturier are changing the dynamic of what a top-tier line is. We discussed top 6 forwards. How many bottom 6 forwards do they have? How many third liners do they have? Well, you incorporate a real true 1C who doesn't have any back problems, and TK who can light the lamp 40 times, and this is what it looks like. It's so different, and yes, Travis Konecny is now at the point where I don't want to miss a shift. It's Bryce Harper walking up to the batter's box. I mean, that's a little aggressive, right? A little aggressive. Probably not Bryce Harper level. To your point, that's the McDavid-Bedard ESPN matchup that they were highlighting all day, and there were interviews about it and all that stuff. And I kind of fell asleep a little bit after that Flyers game, so I don't even know who won. I did see Bedard's goal, though. My God, talk about a wrist. The guy came around. He opens up his I wouldn't even call it a wrist shot. It was almost a flick, but it was harder than any wrist shot or slap shot I've ever seen. Like, in what world? In what world? All right, I'm on the Flyers. I'm trying to go to the NHL. The Oilers won 4-1. McDavid gets 2 assists to lead the Oilers past the Blackhawks for their 8th straight win. Okay. I didn't realize the Oilers were that red hot. Well, looks like they turned it around a little bit. Okay. Actually, now that I think about it, I did know that. Because the Spittin' Chicklets guys, Witt said he was done with the Oilers, then the Oilers started to win, if any of you were Spittin' Chicklet guys. So I did know that. It's just a little bit of a brain fart. All right, what's the other text here? They should have won that game. 6 points and a road trip sweep would have been so fun. It's still very successful coming back to play Washington on Thursday, but I felt we left a point out there. Can this power play please score? Congrats on the baby, bros. That's from Dominic. Thanks, man. She will be coming any day now. Any day. We're on the edge of our seats here waiting. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody who has reached out to me about it. I'm so pumped, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But yeah, the power play, Dominic. The power play, the power play, the power play. I don't get it. I don't get it. People are mad about personnel and Joel Farabee. Yeah, I'm with you. But any of these guys at this point that they're trying, if you could play so well 5-on-5 and 5-on-4, it's impossible to look this bad 5-on, the other way I'm saying, like when you're shorthanded, it's impossible to look that great shorthanded in 5-on-5. Yet when you have the extra guy, I don't get it. I don't get it. But at this rate, I don't know what's going to change because it's been so long. This is just part of who they are, and they have to find ways around it. And eventually, it'll be their kryptonite, I'd imagine. Like, okay, this team's not going to go win a Stanley Cup. Although it might. You know me with my favorite gift that I use on Twitter, wiping down that Stanley Cup. But no, it's probably going to be their downfall. All right, everybody, I love you guys to death. Good roadie for the orange and black. Good roadie. Love you guys to death. We'll be talking soon. See you on the next one.